Hello everyone. In this one, we're going to be looking at addressing in networked computers. Right, so let's take a start. So first of all, why do computers need addresses? Right, now the answer to this one's quite simple and you probably already know this. But if I have two computers and they want to send a message to each other, the only way they can find each other is by using an address. Okay, so if I have a picture or something I want to send to from computer 1 to computer 2, I need the address of computer 2 to be able to send it there. All right, now that is pretty much the only reason why we need addresses in computers. Okay, now it's not just as simple as that though, because there are two types of addresses. All right, we do have a MAC address, which is a hardware address of a computer, and we have an IP address. Now, these two things are used for different things. This one is a hardware address of a physical address of a computer, and this one is an address on a network. Okay, and we're going to have a look at both of them separately. So let's have a look at MAC addresses first. So first of all, you'll notice this is a MAC address, and it is written in hexadecimal. Okay, so that's the first thing you'll notice. The second thing you might notice is, because it's two different colours, it is written in two different parts. Now, this first part here is the company. Okay, so the first part is a company address. So that means that every, let's say, HP computer will have the same first part. Every Sony would have the same first part. Every Apple computer or device will have the same first part. Now, this second part is your personal. Okay, which means this one is the unique part. Okay, so if you went to the shop and you bought two Apple laptops tonight, they would probably both have the first part of the MAC address the same, and then the second part would be different for both computers. Okay, now remember, a MAC address is a physical address. Right, so what we mean by that, it's a hardware address. All right, now it is what we call static, which means it doesn't change. Like ever. Okay, it never changes because this address is set by the company in the factory. Okay, so that will not change. Okay, now there are spoofers and things out there that can make it look like it's changing, but it doesn't actually change. Now, this is an example of a MAC address on a device. You can see it if you look on the outside of your device, on the back of the sticker where all the barcodes are, you will normally be able to see it, and you will see it is written in hexadecimal. Okay, so let's have a look at IP addresses then. So IP addresses, remember, they are the address of a device on a network. So this means that it can, or not can actually, it will, not just can, it will change Okay, so every time you log onto a different network or a new network, your IP address is going to change. Okay, now there are two different types. We have a dynamic and a static IP address. Now, you probably guessed it by what we talked about with MAC addresses, but dynamic means that it doesn't change. Sorry, that is rubbish. Dynamic means that it does change. and static means it does not change. Okay, so most people have this. And now this is because you don't need to have the same IP address all of the time. A dynamic one is fine. As long as you have an IP address, it's fine. It doesn't need to be the same. But some people need a static IP address. Now, people that need a static IP address are normally people that are running websites. Now, this is because, imagine if you're on your computer and you want to log on to, say, Amazon. To log on to Amazon, you need to know where Amazon is. So you type in the Amazon address. Now the Amazon address is attached to an IP address, this isn't Amazon's IP address, I'm just making this up. But it looks a bit like that. So you have 4 different numbers. All of the numbers range between 0 and 255. And there are 4 of them. Okay, so 4 numbers, each between 0 and 255, and this is Amazon's unique address. Okay, when you type in this, your computer will see this. Okay, and using a system called the DNS system, which we will look at in a different lesson. Okay, so when you log on to it, so you're going to log on to Amazon and you type the address in and you log on to Amazon. When you do that, you send Amazon your IP address. And then when Amazon sends you the web page back to use, it knows where you are because you've sent them the IP address. So you don't need a static IP address, but Amazon does. Okay, now that is basically everything about addresses for this unit. Okay, so I'll try and make this smaller so you can see it all, but not too small that you can't see it. I think that'll pretty much do it. And if you need to take a screenshot or you want to take a screenshot, you can do that. Okay, so quick brief overview of what we did. We need addresses so we can send information to each other using computers. There are 2 different types of addresses. We have a MAC address and an IP address. MAC addresses are the physical address, and they do not change because they are static and they are encoded into your computer in the manufacturing level. There are 2 halves to every MAC address. The first half is a company address. The second half is your personal unique address. And they are written in hexadecimal. IP addresses have dynamic and static. An IP address is the address of a device on the network. A dynamic address means that it does change. It can change every time you log on to the network. Even if it's at home, your IP address can change every time you log on to it. And static means it doesn't change. People that tend to have static addresses are people that are running websites like Amazon. And IP addresses, they are made up of 4 numbers between 0 and 255. And they are what you connect to when you type in the actual address in words using the DNS service. Okay, and that is everything for this one, and I'll see you in the next video.